coming into your YouTube airwaves. I'm Vaughn, the Statman, and welcome to the Stat Room, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're wondering what I'm doing with this hat, but I had an artist when I was out in LA that created this hat for me, so shout out to you, young man. So guys, week 2 is officially in the book, so now we're going to move on to week 3, and we had a lot of surprising plays. Who thought Daniel Jones would put up 31 fantasy points? Mike Evans put up 25 fantasy points. We had a lot of surprising plays. We had some big time running backs go down. So that means we have a lot of cheap options for week 3. So guys, without wasting any more of you guys' time, let me bring up this Fanduel screen and let's get into it.
Before I get into the breakdown, guys, if you like my content, how about you subscribe? How about you leave a comment? This is our video, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys. All right, guys, so let's get into this 12-game Week 3 NFL slate. All right, guys, let me give you a quick disclaimer. Guys, when you're playing this $1 million contest in any unlimited entry GPP contest, you are throwing a dart. That means that it is a big gamble. You will need a 220 or better to win this tournament. The people who typically win these tournaments, guys, they're putting in 10 to 150 lineups. We're only putting in one, so don't expect one lineup to really compete. But one week, we will have a lineup that will be able to compete. But if you put this lineup in an unlimited entry GPP, it's a dart throw. If you put it in a single entry or double up contest, I guarantee you, you'll place big. This lineup will win a 10-player or less contest, and it would definitely place in a 50-man or less contest. All right, with that being said, let's get into it. All right, at the quarterback position, guys, Mahomes is someone you can run any week. Against Chicago, I expect at least 24 fantasy points. Allen is going to be in his rhythm again. I expect Allen to put up another 20-point game. Herbert, as far as fantasy purposes, I got to give him his credit. Fantasy purposes, he's been doing his thing. He's had back-to-back 20-plus point fantasy performances. He's put up over 50 points, but it hasn't resulted in his team winning. So for fantasy purposes, we don't care about wins and losses. So if you want 20 fantasy points, I believe he puts up an easy 21 against Minnesota. But the player that I absolutely love is Lamar Jackson. Guys, you can put Tua in. Richardson is a concussion protocol. Cousins will give you 20 fantasy points this week. Prescott is my guy, guys. I think Prescott, if you want to go with somebody under 8,000, I think this is the week Prescott puts up 25 fantasy points. But guys, I got to go with Lamar Jackson. I just think that this is the week that he is going to go off. Lamar Jackson typically starts fast, but this year he couldn't start fast because he had 2 new receivers, a new offensive coordinator. But look, week 1, he had 7 fantasy points. Week 2, he had 22 fantasy points. And guys, he only had 237 passing yards. A rookie quarterback that played this Indianapolis team last week threw for 300 yards. Lamar Jackson now has Bateman, who is coming into week 3, which means that his foot looks to be healthy. Beckham left the game last week. He tweaked his ankle, but that was cautionary. He got 4 targets, guys, and it wasn't even halfway through the second quarter. Beckham is going to be involved. I believe this is the week that Beckham goes off. He's under 5,000. I think Beckham is probably 5'3" or so, but he's somebody that you can consider. But I'm putting Lamar Jackson in. So if I'm putting Lamar Jackson in, it's a no-brainer that I'm putting Mark Andrews in. Because whenever this team gets into the red zone, they're looking for Andrews. Last week was his first game back. He started slow, still had 13 fantasy points, guys. Now let's go get a defense. I'm going to give you a defense that was embarrassed last week. They're not going to be embarrassed again this week. I'm giving you the New York Jets, guys. They're playing New England. New England is one of the worst first quarter teams in the whole NFL. They turned the ball over at a high rate in the first quarter. So I'm going to give you the Jets. They're going to come home. And they play Dallas, guys. No one really thought they would go there and beat Dallas with Wilson at quarterback, even though Wilson did throw that 75-yard pass. But I believe against New England, I think they'll be able to run the ball. I think Wilson will have success throwing the ball, and the Jets defense will atone for that 0-point performance they gave us. Now, I told you guys that I like the Charger and Minnesota game. Eckler, I don't believe he plays, so I'm going to give you his backup running back. I'm going to give you Kelly, guys. I believe that Kelly this week can possibly get 2 rushing touchdowns. Every week, you're going to have a running back that's going to get 2 rushing touchdowns. Most weeks, it's going to be 3 or 4. If you look at it this past week, the running backs that were inexpensive did well. The big-time running backs did well as well. But if they're all doing well, this is a week that I think is going to be a shootout. So I think you can go inexpensive at the running back position. Now, the next running back, you can go with Robinson, and they pricing him at $9,000. I don't understand why he hasn't had a 20-point game yet. And I think they're pricing him according to what they believe he will do. I don't think that's right, because he had 17 and 19. Doesn't mean that he's a lock to get you 24 or 25. Pollard is a lock to me to get 20 against Arizona. Henry, I'm not liking him against Cleveland, although it's Derrick Henry and he can always get down on the 1-yard line and have 3 1-yard touchdowns. But I don't know if Cleveland's going to allow that, because they are pretty good against the run. Jones is injured. I don't know if he played. ETN was cramping up. He should be good, but I don't think you need to spend $8,000 for him. Gibbs, guys. Why is Gibbs $7,000? This young man hasn't even had 10 fantasy points. He should actually have went down in price. He should be 5.5. And Cook is 6.9. They're just raising these guys' prices. I'm giving you guys Mostert, guys. You can run on Denver, and I believe that Denver is going to struggle guarding these fast receivers, and I think Mostert is going to catch balls out of the backfield. I think he rushes for at least 80 yards, and I think he gets into the end zone. I think he catches 3 balls for 30 yards. Now, at the wide receiver position, guys, you can go with Jefferson, he's my favorite wide receiver on the slate, guys. I believe that Jefferson will get his first passing touchdown. He's had 150 yards in back-to-back weeks, guys. Look at this. 150, guys. Back-to-back weeks. I think this is the week that he gets into the end zone. This is a week where he might go absolutely crazy. But I think Lamb matches him, guys. I think Lamb gets into the end zone as well. I think Lamb will easily go for 120 yards against Arizona, and I think he gets into the end zone. Now, for my next wide receiver, guys, I love Waddle. He's my second favorite receiver on the slate. I like Williams. I like Wilson. I do like Reynolds. Collins is the number 1 receiver, guys, but I'm going with Addison. I believe that Addison gets into the end zone again. I don't think that you can stop Addison, because he's on the opposite side of the number 1 receiver in the NFL, and he's playing with a top 3 tight end. So you can't double team everyone, and double teaming Jefferson doesn't seem to work. So I'm going to give you Addison. At my last receiver, guys, I'm not even going to have a bunch of suspense. I'm giving you Cooper. Now, Cooper is a receiver that I'm going to actually have in my line, guys. I'm going to run Cooper. I'm going to start all of my lineups with Cooper. I believe this is the week that Cooper gets into the end zone. I think Cooper has a big game against Tennessee, and against Pittsburgh, he was listed with a little bit of a hamstring injury, but he looked fine to me, and he got out of the game without aggravating it. And look at the numbers he put up against Pittsburgh. He did this on the road, guys. He had 10 balls thrown his way for 90 yards. This is going to be the game. I believe he gets 12 targets. I believe he catches 7 or 8 for another 90 yards. But I believe this is the week that he will get into the end zone. All right, guys. So that's going to be it, guys. You got Jackson, Kelly, Mostert, Lamb, Addison, Cooper, Andrews. I'll let you pick your own flex. Guys, you got $6,300 in the Jets defense. So that's it, guys. Guys, don't forget to win-win. That means give people what they want so you can get what you want. And, guys, don't forget to think and ink. That means write it down so that way it can come true. Love you guys, and good hunting on your Week 3 contests.